we're running out of beef, you're going to want to watch this. The USDA reports are out, and it ain't looking good. The U.S. beef cattle supply is at its lowest rate in 61 years. So what's going on? According to Beef Magazine, here are the 3 biggest reasons we're running out of meat. Water. The drought is making livestock feed really expensive, and cows use a lot of water themselves. Next up, consumers. They can't afford the price of beef. Meanwhile, plant-based meat sales are going up. And the last reason, the scariest one of all, beef farmers are old, like really old. On average, they're 10 years older than chicken or pork producers. And young farmers, they don't want in. With no end to the drought in sight, why would they? So what's going to happen? We could import more meat, which they're already doing, which means tearing down basically the entire Amazon, plus screwing over all the American farmers. Or America could become a leader in making beef without the slaughter of animals, with 99% less water and land needed. Or eat even more plant-based alternatives. Listen, y'all love burgers, but we can make them a better way. Isn't America about innovation? Here's an idea. Keep your burger.
Yep, I'd say that's true. But let's see what you're talking about. It's probably this fire that you're talking about that happened over in Oregon. One of the largest distributors of organic and healthy foods. Just poof, gone. These fires are still just miraculously happening. Look at this one, Fresno County, where a raw milk dairy loses its creamery due to a fire. Or you might have been talking about this one where on April 14th it was reported that Taylor Farms, y'all know that big company, Taylor Farms, is a total loss after a fire. So this could actually be the one that you're talking about, but there's so many fires, who the hell knows? And it just keeps getting better for those that think a food shortage is not coming. Look at Maine, where potato growers are expecting a hit after a fire. Another fire. My goodness, where are these fires just coming from? Just so you know, my messages aren't to instill fear. It's to get you prepared for what's coming. So, prepare for you and your family, because a food shortage is coming. If you haven't felt it yet, it's coming.
A woman on TikTok began investigating this. She thought it was very strange. She lives in the country, she has chickens, and her hens were not laying eggs. How bizarre. This has never happened before. She starts talking to people locally, and it's the same thing. They're saying, they're not laying eggs, and this started around September. And so she starts to do a little bit of investigation, and she starts looking at the feed. Okay, what are we all feeding our chickens? And apparently there's not very many distributors of chicken feed, and she determines that there's 2 main ones, and actually she discovers that it's just one main one, and it's Purina. Purina is the main owner of the chicken feed that they are all feeding. She goes down and she decides to switch up the feed. She talks to somebody locally who switches the feed, and immediately the chicken begins to start laying eggs again after they were no longer given Purina feed and were instead given some local chicken feed. Listen to this woman in her own words, because the conspiracy gets even darker from there.
Essentially, right now, nobody's chickens are laying, and there's a big conspiracy going on about it being a chicken feed issue. So I dug into the chicken feed issue, come to find out Producer's Pride and Do More Feed from Tractor Supply are both manufactured by Purina, which is owned by Lands of Lakes, which is in a joint venture with the largest egg producer in the United States. I'm sure you're asking yourself, how does this all tie together, right? How does this all tie together? Well, in case it's not just staring you straight in the face, the largest producer of eggs in the United States is in a joint venture with Purina, essentially.
So there you have it. That you would think would be a conflict of interest if you're looking to do a merger or an acquisition and you're going, hey, I want to feed the chickens, but also I'm the biggest production of eggs in the United States. I want to feed the chickens, all of them, but I also want to sell eggs on the side, my own eggs. Yeah, it would make sense at some point that you would say, oh, okay, well, what if I sell this feed and I get all of these chickens to stop laying eggs suddenly? They're still going to feed their chickens with my feed because the chicken's got to eat, right? And they'll just assume that there's something going around. Maybe it's the bird flu is going around, and that's the reason why their hens are not laying. And then while there's a shortage, I'm going to mass produce and mass sell my own eggs.
So there's a really big storm coming, and that is why we thought all the shelves were bare at Target. But then a Target employee heard my toddler asking and crying for bananas, which are supposed to be here. And they actually came up to us and were like, this is not normal and we don't know what's going on. Candy block. There's actually like a bunch of Target employees wandering around putting stickers on stuff and wondering where all of their stock is. That's crazy.
Upwards of 600 trucks, trailer trucks, going in and out of an underground storage facility daily. 3.5 million square feet of storage for mostly food. At least 75% food storage underground, 3.5 miles of road. Do you guys know how much food is being brought down there? All at the same time, Biden told us to expect food shortages.
And we both talked about how we could increase and disseminate more rapidly food shortages. In addition to that,
is it just a coincidence or is it fishy? Well, I found a truck driver that actually went down there for the first time and also found it fishy. Information that you should know coming right up. Came across this video of a truck driver delivering craft food into an underground cave storage facility. That is huge. 3.5 million square feet of storage space underground, and it's deep. And the interesting thing is that this truck driver came across as a little bit suspicious. He was a little bit shocked. Didn't know that this place existed, but it in fact does, and I researched it. But let's see what this truck driver had to say about this.
Just a quick update. It's Saturday, I believe, and here's the truck I've been driving for the last few days for Wilson Logistics. This trailer just was assigned to us from Kraft over at the Kraft Foods plant, and we're delivering it here to what's called the Springfield Underground. And that is, as you can see behind me, this giant cave that's big enough to house hundreds of these trucks and trailers. There's a train track running through here. Just to give you an idea, back here there's a regular sized truck. See how tall that is up there. It's just incredible. Anyway, having a great time, learning lots.
I'm sure there's some of you out there that knew about this place, but for the majority of us, I don't think we knew about this place. So I watched a video of a high-ranking guy taking this news agency around in this underground facility. And what he said is this place is so big, they have upwards of 500 employees. And he said that they have 500 to 600 trailer trucks come through there daily. I mean, look, is this not crazy?
So while everybody's focused on the Johnny Depp trial and Megan Fox's interview and Elon Musk buying Twitter, this is what's going on behind the scenes. And I'm not going to say it out loud. I'm just going to let you read it. But I don't know why it frustrates me, like, to the core to just
to think about how blind people are, you know, like, but yeah, this is what's going on. This was posted on April 23rd, 2022, as you can see. And I didn't know about it until somebody else posted it on TikTok. So I thought, you know what, maybe I should make a video too. So here I am telling you guys. And I'm going to post the links to the articles in the comments so you guys could read it yourself. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but this is what I found. I had to dig to find these articles, you know what I mean? Like, they don't just pop up. You have to literally type this whole thing to get them. And here's another one, posted on April 21st, 2022. And I'll be honest with you, like, I was sucked in the whole Johnny Depp trial. Like, I was like following it and stuff. And I was like, it just completely went over my head that it could be a setup. It could be, I don't know, it could be real. I don't know, but I got distracted and we all fall prey to that. So we just have to, you know, inform each other and stay vigilant as best as we can. Like I said, I fell prey to that. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, we just have to stay prepared. Like, I feel like I'm screaming at the top of my lungs and nobody's listening, but I don't know. Like, I guess we'll just wait and see what happens.
Fire crews were called due to reports of heavy flames and smoke coming from the roof. After a little over an hour, the fire was put out and all employees that were arriving to work at the time were evacuated into the parking lot with no injuries reported. Derek Delgado with Lubbock Fire and Rescue told us firefighters faced heavy smoke while working to extinguish this fire, and visibility made it difficult to navigate the structure.
Damage right now is unsure. Fire marshal's office will go in and assess the damage and then also determine the cause of the fire.
Heard about the fire at Hilldale Farms? Largest supply of chicken eggs. An estimate of 100,000 hens died in this fire. Allegedly, Hilldale Farms price gouged over 4 million cartons of eggs. This is based in Connecticut. Damn, who set eggs on fire? Y'all think this was an accident? You think somebody mad that it's $20 an egg and burnt this shit? Do you think it was done to raise the prices more on eggs? It's crazy. What y'all thoughts? If they raise the prices even more, y'all gonna buy them? $80 a carton, 2 for $140. Paying more for inflammation. Too many eggs can lead to joint pain because the acid in the yolk causes inflammation. Again, if they raise these prices, are y'all buying the eggs still? Because at this point, you might have to get your own chicken coop in the back. There's other breakfast options. You can go ahead and get some fruit, some vegetables, make some smoothies, drink some water, get some herbs, drink some teas, all kinds of shit. Avocado toast. But comment your thoughts on this right here, because that's crazy.
This is where your egg shortage went.
The FDA have sued you in the past, and they'll tell people not to read your books. The natural cures are dangerous and ineffective. What do you say to that?
The Federal Trade Commission and the Food and Drug Administration basically are on the payroll of the drug companies. I write books. These are not my cures. I traveled 5 million miles, Skip. I interviewed over 5,000 real doctors all around the world who are curing every disease without drugs and surgery. Dr. Leonard Colwell in Germany documented, treated 35,000 terminal cancer patients, breast cancer, liver cancer. His mother was one of them with liver cancer. She was told she was going to die. Go to hospice. It's over. Prostate cancer, leukemia, lymphatic cancer. People that were told, you're going to die, go home to hospice and die. He treated 35,000 cancer patients. He has the highest cancer cure rate of any doctor in the world. And he doesn't use chemotherapy, he doesn't use drugs, he doesn't use surgery or radiation. He uses natural remedies. Suzanne Summers had breast cancer. We don't hear about it much. But she said no to chemotherapy. She said no to radiation. I have a lot of respect for this woman. But how come it isn't front page news that she is a breast cancer survivor without chemotherapy, radiation, or drugs? We don't hear about that. I traveled 5 million miles, and I found doctors all around the world are curing arthritis, herpes, flu, bird flu, swine flu, seasonal flu. They're curing arthritis. They're curing high blood pressure. insomnia, all without drugs and surgery and no side effects. So why would the Federal Trade Commission want to sue me? Here's why. Because I am adversely affecting the profits of the masters that pay them.
We want to turn now to a series of stories that we are doing this week on how U.S. food regulations have left American consumers exposed to chemicals and additives that have been banned in other countries.
Potassium bromate is a suspected carcinogen that's banned for human consumption in Europe as well as China and India, but legal in the U.S., where it's used by some food makers to strengthen dough and estimated to be present in over 100 products.
There is evidence that it may be toxic to human consumers, that it may even either initiate or promote the development of tumours.
Professor Eric Millstone is an expert on food additives and told us European countries take a much more cautious approach to food safety.
Can we say for sure that these differences in regulations mean that people in the US have developed cancers that they would not have developed if they'd been eating only in Europe?
I think that that is almost certainly the conclusion that we could reach.
It's not just potassium bromate, but many other chemicals and substances that are banned here in Europe over health concerns, but considered safe by the FDA.
Do you think most Americans are aware that they're being exposed to substances that are viewed as dangerous over here?
They probably just think, well, if it's available and it's in the store, then it's probably fine.
Is food safety a part of that decision?
For sure, yeah. How am I going to protect my children when it's just everywhere?
I really want to make this point. If you came down, as an alien to Earth, to the United States, and saw what was going on, 80% of adults obese or overweight, metabolic dysfunction, 8 of the 10 top killers tied to food, just getting away from our evolution, right? You'd have a clear policy recommendation. Let's really focus on food. Let's focus on teaching kids how to exercise, how to meditate, to get a control of their mind, how to eat healthy. That would obviously, anyone 100% of the time would say that's the policy recommendation. That's not what we do. We wait for everyone to get sick and then drug them, and it's much more expensive. In the United States, and this is an important point going back to Ozempic, the obesity drug, because the system's so rigged, because pharma spends 3 times more than any other industry on lobbying, the United States is not even able to negotiate the drug price, even though they're the largest payer. So Ozempic, prices don't go down when volume goes up. Prices are going up in healthcare and quality is getting worse. So Ozempic is $2,500 a year. It's not going down. There's a full court press for government subsidization, taxpayer funding. It literally, this sounds hyperbolic, but this is the case. If that is prescribed how it's projected, that will be trillions of dollars over the next 10 years.
This is out of pocket. Why are we just now finding out in 2023 that AIDS grow on trees, bro? Bro, look at that. He really picking AIDS off a tree, bro. Bro, look. Crack, it's an AIDS. Bro, when you crack these eggs open, bro, seeds come out. So this whole time, bro, you telling me the eggs that we've been eating, bro? Oh, man.
A lot of the lynchings, not all of them, of course. Do you know many of the lynchings were done on what? A Sunday, the Lord's Day.
Wow.
By clergy.
Wow. Dang.
Go through the ritual. The barbecuing is not, we know the barbecue as a type of sauce now, right? That's not what it originally meant. It was a type of slow burning.
Wow.
You see? They felt that they were going through a Moses-like ritual on the altar and the burning. What do white folks used to do? Literally, you don't need to be metaphysical, spiritual, occult. Forget that. You think Vicky is a nut? Fine. Do we know historically that they ate some of our body parts? Do we know that for sure? Yes. Do we know that at the end of these lynchings, they literally fought for body parts, dismembered us? Yes, they felt that there was magic inside of the melanin, which is why they ingested it. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
So we don't understand this. Finally.
The chances of you seeing this video are so rare. There's 500 million users on TikTok, and you will probably never see my account again. But I'm not gonna ask you to follow me. The chances of you seeing this video are so rare. There's 500 million users on TikTok, and you will probably never see my account again. But I'm not gonna ask you to follow me.
Looks like a tattoo to me. That's crazy. Possible human being eaten.
Feeding the dead to the living. You know the end is near. Check out this death chamber, this washing machine. They call it aquamation, where they liquefy the dead and then dump the remains down the drain to be recycled into the municipal water supply. And so people are drinking it, they're showering in it, they're doing their laundry in it, and this is happening in most states across the country. In most major cities, they're recycling dead people and feeding it to the living. What does that mean exactly? And they're grinding up the bones into powder. They call this calcium phosphate, which is going to be used for food processing, undoubtedly. Maybe in your vitamins. And so what are the implications when people start eating dead people, like cannibalism? Is there going to be kuru running around out there? Mad cow disease? What about in a spiritual sense? What is that like when you're eating and drinking dead people? Of course, they're spraying this on the food supply.
So I posted this video on 11/5 about 10 days ago. The reason for the repost is everybody thinks I photoshopped this, and I didn't. I don't even know how to do that. But just for your information, this is on her Instagram page, and it's from May 15th. Go check it out. But the weird thing is, look at the caption. That's weird, man. And if you do make it there, tag me at Shadyville Lit TikTok. Good looking.
Meet your meat. Fast food restaurants and what you're consuming. Let's go. You find a report that comes out, so they use the good parts of the body. What do they do with the rest? Then suddenly you find that 25% of McDonald's burger is human remains. The world's not ready for that yet. No, it's not, because most of the world eat it. Exactly right. But I tell you what, that'll put them out of business when that becomes public knowledge. Do we have no food for you because we have a shutdown? Or do we give you some little quick salads that the first lady will make along with the second lady? They'll make some salads. And I said, you guys aren't into salads. Or do I go out, Lindsey Graham and Jim Scott, do I go out and send out for about 1,000 hamburgers? Big Mac. So we bought 1,000. Burger King, all American companies. Burger King, Wendy's, and McDonald's. We have Big Macs, we have quarter pounders with cheese, we have everything that I like, that you like. There's a Jewish man by the name of Rabbi Finkelstein. I want you to listen to what he's about to say. Roll the clip. Listen to this. I know that on your Passover, which isn't mine, that a lot of little children do disappear, and I do know that, and I know a lot of police departments and agencies have been informed, but you're very open. You're very open tonight. I'm very surprised that you're talking about the bloodletting of the little children, that you put their blood in the matzah balls, and that you eat it on sacrifice on Passover. Well, there was a Goyim that wrote a book about it back in the 30s. I forget his name at the moment. But anyway, he wrote the book. People didn't buy the book. People don't want to listen. We've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years, since down to Adam's time. We take the children of our enemy, which is the white race, and we bring them to the basements in the synagogue, where we drain the blood, and watch them die there. It's very similar to how we do the sacrifices that we do with the kosher butchery, and so we do that, and then we mix it with the Passover bread, and so we eat the blood of our enemies. And the bodies, we're not cannibals, so what we do is we take those, because we can make some shekels, and we give them to the slaughterhouses, and those are pounds and pounds and pounds of meat that we grind up in the sausage and the hamburger, and that's why we made those the most popular thing, sausage for breakfast and hamburger for lunch. And so all the goyim out here are really eating their children. And
for more content like this, like, share, and follow. Peace.
Okay, I'm gonna need you guys to talk me down because I'm gonna vomit and die if this is real. I made dinner last night with a package of Aldi's, like, Italian sausage, like the little ground one that comes in like the plastic packaging. And when my husband was eating it, we found what appears to be a human tooth in the meat. Had it verified with a dentist. She says, yes, it is a human tooth. So now, what the fuck, right? Like, is a body in the meat grinder that I just fed my family? So when he bit into it, it broke in half. But you can see the pulp chamber, and you can see, the enamel, and you can see that it's a freaking tooth. What do I do? What do I do now?
I ordered a spicy chicken sandwich at McDonald's, right? And I was eating it while I was driving, and I tasted something super hard coming out of my sandwich. So I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. I take it out. It's a tooth.
Hold on, let me focus.
It's a tooth. There's a tooth.
Bro,
in my
that's a real life tooth.
That's a whole tooth.
Hold on, let me
in
see.
my McDonald's. That's a tooth.
That's fucking nasty,
that was in my burger.
Genetic DNA evidence of children's teeth in the food, in the burgers, which linked it back to, was it not Wisconsin, Missouri or Wyoming, one of those states that's in the middle of nowhere, where they actually found human meat inside one of the processing plants at McDonald's. And they said, we're not sure how it's happened. Maybe somebody fell in there and they haven't reported it. But between McDonald's closing, the reports of the Japanese McDonald's tried to pass the buck, try to blame it on the Americans, saying, we got the food from the USA. It didn't come from here. And then they said, you know what? That's probably somebody playing a prank. But they're closing a lot of branches down at McDonald's. And McDonald's traditionally, Nick, in the last 40, 50 years has been one of the safest franchises you could buy. Because what they do is they do a very, very detailed demographic study of where you're going to put these McDonald's, about the income of the people, where they are, the population. They don't just put them randomly. They're very, very specific about where they are. So human meat in the McDonald's food, including children's teeth that have been ground up and put in there. Very disturbing.
Why?
But why? It's where they hide the bodies. That's what they're saying. You know how many children disappear every year? Where are they going to hide? Say there's 250,000 children disappear in America every year. Where are all the bodies? You know, most people, what are they going to do? Drive them along the highway? They always get discovered. They never bury them deep enough. You've got weather conditions that expose them. Animals expose them. It's hard. You'd be surprised how difficult it is to hide a body. And I'll tell you why I know, Nick, because there's neither North or South Carolina. There's the body farm. Now, the FBI they use this as a training ground. So what happens is when Americans die, they leave the body to science. And what they do in this ground is they put the bodies in different situations. One will be left out, one will be semi-buried, one will be fully buried, one will be buried upside down. They do all these experiments about how the decomposing the bodies helps them with the science when they find a murder victim or a body that they're not sure how it died. So, for example, if a larger man dies on his back, they can tell by the insects and how much fat has dripped out of his body underneath, how degraded the grass is and everything, to understand how long he's been decomposing for. So they know all about what happens with these bodies, how they do it. They've got all the forensic science about where they're from. And there's always genetics.
But what I realized is we are the first species on the face of this earth to be aware of evolution, to be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that we do, the babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight. that we do, the babies we eat, the food we eat, the babies we eat, the food we eat, the babies we eat, the food we eat, thing that we do, the babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight. We are the first species